Hey friends, happy Monday motivation, and a happy final episode of our Is Collecting Bad Monday motivation series. Sounds like Rufus is coming up to say hi. Coming up to say hi to the people. You've been a regular contributor to the Monday motivation, Bubba. Yeah. I don't know how many have him there. You probably see him now. He's sticking his head up. Mr. Rufus is here to help us wrap this series up in person. So no broad topic the way we have. We're just going to kind of go back through what we've talked about over the 10 weeks. This will be I think this is the 10th week, right? And kind of give an overview of my thoughts. And, as I've shared through this series, it was a introspective series where I could look at myself, look at my behaviors, and ask myself, what am I doing? Is it what I want to be doing? Is it what I'm supposed to be doing? Could I be doing better in some areas? And that type of thing. And ask myself, is collecting bad? So we're going to go all the way through the different topics and just kind of get my thoughts of what I actually think. So let's start off. Why do we collect? That was kind of our first topic. Why do we collect? And are we collecting things or are we accumulating things? And I think I was pretty honest in that a lot of what I did, and still do to a point, but what I certainly in many years of my collecting was just accumulating. Buying stuff to buy stuff, especially when I was really big into hot toys. I was buying things that I didn't have a super interest in at a premium price point just to have. Now I feel like I've done a better job of focusing that. It's hard to say that because my collection is still very sprawling, but it's much more focused into areas that are more meaningful to me or are things that we do as a family. And so I really think that is a big key. Make sure you're collecting what you want to collect and not what someone else is collecting, not what the companies say you should collect, what you want to collect because you have whatever connection to it. I think that's a very important part of this, to make sure that collecting doesn't become something bad. Am I addicted? For me, I think to a point, yes. I've always collected things of some sort, something. And what are you doing, Rufus? Why are you walking over there? Come up here. You don't need to lick that I don't know what that is. Cookie jar? You can't see it. I don't know what he was licking over there. He usually doesn't even pay any interest at all to anything in here. But this room is now free of eBay store and Christmas tree and all of that for the first time in like 5 months. Between the Christmas presents, the Christmas tree, and then all the eBay stuff, he hasn't been able to walk over there. So you get new sniffs, huh, buddy? Yeah, come up here. Yeah, there you go. That's a good boy. He likes this leather sofa too. Just a good boy. So, addiction. Could I stop at any point? I want to believe I could. But am I going to try to make room for this in my budget of my life? The answer is usually going to be yes. So is it a good dopamine? Is it a good hobby? Is it a good release when things are stressful? I think, yeah, as long as you're doing it within the right boundaries. Completionism, whatever, OCD rules, I got to tighten that up a lot. Things like G.I. Joe Classified series that I've been a completist in-box and out-of-box, I can see myself bailing on those just because they make so many. I try to be a completist on a number of different things. It's just kind of the way my personality is. And that makes some things hard, right? It makes it bad. For instance, with NECA Haulathon and all these figures they put out at one time and I go and buy them. I did that to myself, and it's because I want to have them all in FOMO. We talked about FOMO and all these things. I do it to myself. And that is an area I have to improve on. And it's really easy to be a person that says, just don't buy them all. That's a person, if you're able to just easily do that, you don't know the challenge that it is for somebody that does struggle with that, like I do. I mean, there are certain aspects of mental health and desires and things that are very true and very real and aren't so easy to just say, I'll stop. It's just not the real world. And people deal with things in different ways all over the place. And, that's the nature of collecting that I've always done and have done for 35 years. And it would be really hard to turn that off. So I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to rein it in. I'm trying to be more selective. A lot of companies give you good ways to exit it because of some of the challenges, whether you don't like the plastic-free packaging, whether you don't like the price points, like they make it a little easier to exit a line. But completionism is something I've got to do a little bit better on. FOMO too, I think I do pretty good on that, but I picked up all the Necaholics stuff when I came across it, specifically for FOMO. What if it's not there later? Does that impact my life negatively? No, but that happens. We've really been trying to do good on the hoarding. We talked about hoarding. We did talk about like Saturday morning cartoons and the way that marketing try to get you to buy it. Just know that it's happening. That's the biggest tip. Understand that you're being marketed to. They may be fans of their brands, but they're at work and they're marketing to you. They're trying to get your money out of your pocket. When you give your money to a company, knowingly do that. Know what you're doing, right? They don't care. They just want our money. And that's not saying anything bad about a company. It's just the reality. Of course they don't care. They're a company that just wants your money. Hoarding, I think we've done better. We've got rid of a ton of boxes. We got completely out of the storage unit. We sold all of our back stock on eBay. All the Lego sets we were never going to build. We just got rid of all of it. And everything now will be much more contained, is all in the house, is all on display, or is in the garage where I can take it down and play with it for pictures. So I think that's a key. You see I don't know if you can see right here, there's a pile of stuff because I haven't had a chance to open things because of selling, but that's a big thing. Now, priorities. What are your priorities? Am I budgeting correctly? That's a big focus for us this year. I only want to spend money in this hobby that I make from the hobby, whether it's from YouTube, which is not very much money, but every month or two I might get $100, $120 from YouTube for views and everything. Whether it is selling our own stuff, to fund other things, I'm going to try really hard to only use money that the hobby makes to pay for the hobby, and not dip into the regular budget at all. To use the regular money that comes out of the paychecks to put money into the house or the cars or whatever, things like that. It doesn't mean it'll always be that way. There'll be certain events like Dragon Con that are larger, and I'm not going to make enough money selling stuff, or we'll run out of stuff to sell, and we'll have to do it differently, and that's okay. But I'm going to try, especially the first half of the year, and we've done good at that. I have not spent money that didn't come from either selling stuff or YouTube in 6 or 7 months on the hobby. And I hope to keep doing that. Of course, I've run out of stuff to sell, so it'll be a little bit harder. But keeping those priorities aligned, putting money into savings. I put a bunch of money into a rainy day fund, and then to a separate slush account. And then I've got a bunch of money in my retirement savings. I'm really trying to do better about that, rather than just go, I'm going to buy whatever. When I bought all these Target Haul-a-thon NECA figures, I immediately paid for them. I paid with them with the Target credit card, so I get 5% off, but then I immediately paid for them with money I'd sold with on eBay. So try not to let things sit on a credit card or anything like that. Big focus for the priorities. What other people think? Everybody knows I collect. It's not a big deal to me. I try not to let people on social media or YouTube bother me. I just block you. But, we talked about that. An endpoint in collecting, I don't know what that is. If in a few years when Kaya goes away to college, or, maybe more like 10 years where she's out of college, she has her own place to live, whatever, and she takes a lot of these things that are hers with her, will we keep collecting? Probably. I think we probably will. Will it look very different? Yes. Will our collecting continue to evolve? Probably. And before we kind of get into my wrap-up, right, my actual wrap-up part of this video, there was a question that I think is worth asking here. What happens when you became friends? I can't remember who it was that asked this question, but I think it's a good question. What happens when you became friends with people that collect and you stop collecting or they stop collecting? What happens to your friendship if that's all you did together? I think that's a good question. So one of the things we're going to talk about as we continue in the future Monday videos is collecting good? And what are the things that are good about collecting? And one of the main things, and if you watch my man Century, TMC, Ron's video right when he's back from Aruba after his wedding, and he talks about the positivity of the community and what it's meant for him in his life, and how he got on YouTube to try to find like-minded people. The community can be great, and the community can be awful, right? That's a very vocal minority. Just like in any community, there's a vocal minority that overwhelms the positivity oftentimes. You have to shut those people out, you have to block them, you have to do whatever. But there's a great deal of positive people, and all of you commenting and those of you that did bdubfit and all the various things over the years that you participated in show how positive this community is. I've met a number of friends through this hobby. If you think about the people that you see on my channel regularly, You see Steve regularly. Knew Steve long before. I mean, I was collecting, but he's not a collecting friend. My friend Andrew, not a collecting friend. My family, of course, is my family, and I did not meet Natalie through collecting. We met through the gym. But pretty much everybody else that you see on this channel, David, we met through collecting. Josh, Mike, OG Geek, Seth, What's Poppin', Kent, Greg Cook, Ron, Jeff, Slap Happy Toys, Jan, Captain Pallive, Humpty, all those guys that I call friends that we actually don't talk about collecting very much at all, but we met through collecting. And so the question is, what happens if you stop collecting, or your friend stops collecting? Does your friendship go away? And with friendships, with all relationships, this is the thing we've talked to Kai about actually pretty recently. With all relationships, because she's about to enter high school, and you lose some friends because maybe they go to a different school and it's the end of the world, right? And all of us know that once you become an adult, you hardly talk to people you knew at high school at all, if ever, right? Your relationships just evolve over time. That's just what happens. But with all relationships, you've got, I think we talked about this when we talked about what people think in the different circles of people. You got the people that you just do hobby stuff with, and that's what they're for. Like the quote-unquote drinking buddies or the football game buddies or whatever. And you don't really have much in common outside of that. But that's the thing you go do. This is the people I go to concerts with, and that's it. And if you stop going to concerts, maybe you don't have a friendship anymore, because that was all your friendship was. And if you have people in your life that the only thing you've ever done together is hunt for action figures, and you don't know anything about each other, you haven't met each other's families, you've not been to each other's homes, and whatever, that friendship probably will go away. Because it isn't actually a friendship, it's more of a, we both do this hobby together. But I hope for most of you that the people that you've met through this hobby are as blessed as I am, and they become real friends. And maybe what it starts out is, with David and I, we just see each other at swap meet. At the figure store, at swap meet. That was it. That's all we saw each other. But then it became where the vast majority of our time is not figure related. It's stuff with our families. And I've seen him get married and the birth of his baby. You see me get engaged. All these wonderful things. They have nothing to do with action figures. And the vast majority of what we do, he comes to Kai's events. We try to be at Shiloh's stuff. It's just living life together. So the figure community opens the door to meet people that have similar interests in you, right? You don't have to hide from them. You don't have to be worried about what they think. But then you can go live regular life. So I hope that even if you stop collecting or your friends stop collecting, that the relationship is pure enough, is based in friendship enough, that it doesn't matter. And if it does matter, it's probably not a friend worth having. Just leave it at that. So let's wrap it up. Is collecting bad? Is collecting bad? Well, I think that answer is pretty easy. No, I don't think it's bad. Almost anything in our world can be very good or very bad. We as humans corrupt things. That's what we do as people. We corrupt things. And we tarnish them. And we make them something that they weren't designed to be. That includes us as the consumers. That includes the humans that are on the business side, that run the businesses. Something that is pure can become very impure very quickly if you don't keep control over it, especially in a hobby. Whatever your hobby is, whatever it is, whatever the thing you do to help you relax when you're stressed out, to help you unwind after work, to help you release some tension, whatever that is, let's go through some things. Collecting. Whatever you collect, any collection. Going to events. You like to go to concerts. You like to go to sporting events. Working out. Cooking. Working in the yard. Working in the house. Whatever. Whatever the thing is that you do, you can make that thing become bad. You can make that thing start possessing you. You can make that thing stop being a compartment, a segment of your life that helps you deal with whatever else you have to deal with in life. And you can make it become the controlling aspect of your life. In my opinion, anything that we do for hobby, for work, for relaxation should never be the controlling part of your life. The controlling part of your life should be who you are as a person and how you treat those that are in your inside circle, your significant others, your family members, your children, your closest friends, your inner circle. That should always be the motivating factor, the thing that controls what you do and what you decide to do with your life. It should never be anything else. If you hear a lot of times, you hear me talk about, I wasn't able to go to MegaCon last year because Kaya had theater. It was a very easy decision. Because MegaCon is just a convention, and yes, my friends are there, and we could have met some cool people, that's all cool, but the inner circle is Kaya and her school events, and being present and being available for her in those moments. And it always will be, because that's the controlling interest of my life. It's very easy for all of this to infringe on those controlling interests. And that's why we went through all those different topics, because those are ways that everything tries to get in. Oh, let me take a little bit more of your money. Let me take a little bit more of your time. Let me make it stressful, your hobby. Let me make it stressful. Golf. Probably a lot of you don't play golf. I like to play golf. I haven't played golf in a long time. Main reason is golf wants too much of my money and too much of my time. Even though I love it. I love playing it. But it gets more and more expensive, and now I need new clubs, and now I need new shoes, and it takes 5-6 hours, and then that's time I'm away from my family. And maybe I have now Andrew, who I would golf with, is a great buddy who I've known for 30 years. But sometimes you have a golf buddy that you don't really know. You just golf some random person at the course that they sign you up with. And you're spending 5-6 hours with them instead of the people in your inner circle. And sometimes you need that, but you don't need it 5 days a week. And so, is collecting bad? Absolutely not. Collecting is good. Any hobby is good if what it does is help you become a better person. That's what this should be. My hobby of collecting should help me become a better person. My hobby of being on YouTube should help me become a better person. Should help me help other people become better people. Should help put a positive thing out into this world. We collect this stuff because it makes us feel good. It makes us reminisce about when we were children. For us, it helps us to bond with our child. It helps us to do things together and to grow and to build core memories with our family that will always last. That's good. Budget. If I go over budget, nope, not good. If I get stressed out because I can't get the new release, no, it's not good. If I spend too much money or I buy all the line and I run out of space and then I gotta buy a storage unit, no, it's not good. That's nothing about building core memories for myself with my loved ones in the thing that we share together. Or then maybe we don't. Maybe you just do it by yourself, but you enjoy it and it brings that positivity to you. So you should ask yourself, is collecting bad for you or is collecting good for you? If you sit and you think back of the last year of your collecting, do you have more bad memories or do you have more good memories? That's the question you can ask yourself. Is your collecting journey filled with, I'm mad because I didn't get this exclusive. I'm mad because of plastic-free packaging. I'm mad because of figure swaps. I'm mad because I can't afford the figures I want and I want all of them and now I can only get 3 of them. I'm mad. And that's all it is? Or is it, man, I really like it when I get this figure. This figure's fun. I wish I would have also got this one, but I couldn't afford it. But it didn't make me mad. It didn't ruin my hobby. I'm okay. Moving on. Or just, hey, I got 10 figures I love. I don't even know what else is out there in the market, but I love these and they make me happy. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this stuff that I've got to unbox, and a lot of it I'm genuinely excited to unbox. I really am. I'm kind of waiting because I want to do some of it on some Wednesday videos because it'll be a lot of content opening those boxes. But also, there's a big rearranging that needs to happen here, not with furniture itself, but with stuff, with figures. And I don't know where things are going to live quite yet. And so there's just still work to be done from that front. But I'm just really excited to open this stuff up. So, is collecting bad? I don't think so. Can it become bad? Yes. Have there been days for me where it's bad? Yes. Has there been times in my life where it controlled more than it should have? Absolutely yes. Was I self-aware at the moment that was happening? Not always. Sometimes I let FOMO get me. Sometimes I let the rush of getting something new get me. Sometimes I let the completionism get me. A lot of times. But when I step back and when I really focus on the things that are the most meaningful to me, do I want to abandon them? No. We just went to Atlanta Comic-Con. I didn't buy anything for myself, I don't think, except the toilet art for the bathroom. I could have met all 4 Hobbits. And what I chose to do is save that money and spend a little bit of money and have Kaya have that memory of meeting Charlie from Lost, Mary from Lord of the Rings, Dominic Monaghan. Because it was more important to me. I also get to meet him, by the way, and be close to all 4 of them. But the memory of her being so starstruck and getting to meet him, and he gave her a hug and he wrote Not Penny's Boat on his hand and all these wonderful things means so much more than me as a 41-year-old man meeting 4 Hobbits. Because that's a memory that'll be with her forever. So do I want to abandon that? Absolutely not. No. But I want to do more of it as a family. And less by myself, just me. So I'm going to continue to adapt and evolve my collecting. If you saw the news recently, Funko is just dumping, almost $40 million worth of product. Their stock's way down. The collecting bubble certainly has burst. We're going to see a lot of, I fear, stores get into some trouble, maybe go out of business. The collecting hobby is going to shrink back down to where it used to be in the way 40-year-old virgin would depict it. I feel it's not going to be quite as cool anymore, quite as trendy anymore. I don't care. I've collected all the way through all of that. I'm going to keep collecting, but I've got to rein it in. And I think that's the way to go forward. So I hope you enjoyed the series. I really do appreciate all the support. So maybe next week, but soon we will start Monday Motivation. Is collecting good? We did it the whole series of Is Collecting Bad? We're going to do Is Collecting Good? And I think I'm going to be able to go through at least most of the same topics and talk about the positive sides of those topics from my life and what it's meant to me. And this was kind of a bridge in between the 2 episodes, and you hear me talking about a lot of the things that are good. But I hope you'll join me for that. And then please leave me comments for what other kind of longer form, talking head, mental healthy type series that you'd be interested to hear me talk about, like big questions that we can tackle. So again, I don't know that it'll be here next week. I may take a break, I'm not sure. So you'll find out Monday at 6 a.m. one way or another. But I appreciate you joining for Is Collecting Bad? 10-part series. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube if you joined it late. I think actually there's another toy hunt video coming Wednesday, and then a Life with the Dubs coming up on Sunday that I think you'll enjoy with both my sisters, brother-in-law. We see Tiffany, we do a signing, we go to a movie. We have a little bit of everything on Life with the Dubs coming up on Sunday. So I appreciate you joining the series. I'll talk to you at the next episode of Monday Motivation.